TV viewers. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I am super, super excited because I have one of my absolute favorite people on the entire planet, one of my favorite designers on my channel, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary people.
Okay.
I would like to introduce and welcome Desmond from Ethnicity Brand. Woo! Hey Desmond, how
Yes.
are you? I'm so
Thank
excited.
thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. I'm excited also.
Thank you, thank you. So, for those who've been watching Hamilam TV, you've seen Ethnicity Brand on Hamilam TV before quite a few times, and so and you've been asking me to have the designer on the channel, so you're welcome, and thank you
I'm
for taking the time to be a part of it. So please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your brand.
okay. Well, I'm Desmond. Most people know me as Dez, but I'm Desmond, the CEO and creative director of Ethnicity Brand. Ethnicity Brand is a fashion house that does more than just wardrobe. We do men's wear, women's wear, ready to wear, celebrity wardrobe, custom design, red carpets, uh, jewelry and accessories, and also fashion show and show production. We've been in existence for about 10 or 11-ish years, somewhere around there. I never really know when I started because I've been in the industry for so long. And the brand just kind of took off at some time in my tenure of doing crap in the fashion industry.
Gotcha,
Yep.
gotcha. And so where, if you don't mind, where are you based, or where are you based? And then also, do you like ship nationally, internationally? Because after
Well,
this interview, I know everybody's gonna want to buy stuff. So
perfect. We are based out of DC,
Mhm.
but I do travel a lot and I do ship a lot. So I'm always, always, always on the road. DC to Philly, Philly to New York, New York to Dallas, Dallas to Atlanta, Atlanta to Miami, and sometimes LA, which was basically my routes for the past few months. So yeah, I do it all, and it's fun sometimes.
Gotcha, gotcha. So, you kind of alluded to that, but let us know, what led you you said that you've been doing things in the fashion industry. What led you to start your brand?
Well, it kind of started in a weird kind of way, I guess, but not so much. But I started as a model.
Of
I started as
course.
a model. I think everybody starts as a model. You want to be in fashion, you assume that you want to be a model. But I started as a model, and one of my mentors started to take me to different shows. He was a show producer. His name was Will Ridley, and
Hmm.
started to take me to different fashion shows and different events, and I would begin to learn, some of the backstage stuff. And I think I started really getting into backstage and producing and that kind of thing, which is what I really, really enjoyed. And somewhere in time, I think, you know, learning those kind of things or backstage production and having a designer cast and someone doesn't make it or clothes don't work or this and that, you start to learn different techniques like sewing or like this and like that, or whatever it may be that you do. And I think I started to learn about sewing and starting to know more about design work. And then somewhere in there, I started to do my own thing. I also used to be really, really into jewelry, which actually, when I first started, my company was not Ethnicity Brand. We were
Hmm.
Ethnicity Jewels.
Oh,
And I used to be into menswear a whole lot. And I used to make these really big, gaudy necklaces. I got some down there somewhere. I'll grab
I'd love to
really
see
big,
them later on. Yes.
really big, gaudy, masculine bracelets and necklaces and stuff like that. And my first shows were just jewelry. My first presentation was jewelry. And I think when I started getting into the jewelry and the jewelry really started taking off and started selling and all the accessories and stuff started selling, I started saying, I gotta get some clothes to match on the jewelry. I gotta make something. I need something to go with the jewelry when I go to the shows.
Hmm.
And then before I know it, it was clothes. And it was always clothes. And people was, oh, I want the necklace and the gown. Oh, I want the necklace and the pants. And it's so it happened.
Gotcha. Uh, and everybody calls it unprecedented times, but really it is unprecedented times. It's
Hmm.
just the world changed just like that. And
Yeah.
so as a fashion designer, just how have you been coping with, adjusting from runway shows and traveling all over the place to now things, starting to slowly open up and all of that. But, how have you adjusted to this type of situation?
You know, in a weird kind of way, very weird kind of way, I've kind of enjoyed it,
Hmm.
honestly. I think I'm always a guy on the go. And at the beginning of quarantine, I definitely enjoyed like the first 3 weeks. Like sitting in my house, sitting in my bed. I don't have to answer no calls. I don't have to go anywhere. I mean, of course, it wasn't fun not working and not making the money, but it was like a moment for me to say, reset. I really, really enjoyed it. After that, of course, everybody was requesting the mask. They want the mask. We want the mask.
Hmm.
So then that became, oh, well, I can make some quick money doing masks. Now, to be honest, I hated doing the masks, to be completely honest. It just, to me, it just didn't make sense. I was tired of cutting, and I don't like to sew in my house either. So I was
Hmm.
forced to sew in my house once again. I had sequin and fabric and thread and stuff all over the place. I was kicking masks out nonstop. I'm like, this is crazy. And of course, the mask costs a lot less than I would charge for a gown. So I'm like,
Hmm.
ah! but but overall, it was good. Also through the pandemic, it gave me some time to think about some different designs and get creative. I didn't have to work under pressure or under somebody who wanted something. I was able to
Hmm.
really let my creativity flow and just let some things happen. And that's what I really enjoyed. I had like so much, I always had tons of fabric around. So I was able to just go get some of those fabrics and make some dresses that I just want to do, or some things that I just like to do that's not for clients. And I really, really had a good time with that. It was amazing. I think some of my better designs and some of my better creations came from that moment of no pressure and just relaxing and just chilling. And I don't have nothing to do, and I could do what I want. And if I mess it up, oh well, it's fine. Who cares? Um,
I
all
love
of
that,
that,
Des. I love
and
that.
then yes, and then I was able to do my first virtual reality. I'm sorry, virtual runway show, which was
That's
something
the
different.
next
It
thing
was
I wanted to
live.
ask you about. I wanted to ask you about the logo collection and how,
Oh,
how you did the show. And I mean, it's just fire, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to link to it below and then also put a couple of clips on it towards the end and through the interview. But please tell us about your latest collection and the virtual fashion show, which was, by the way, I
thank
loved
you.
it.
Okay, okay. This is so weird because I am not a fan of like streetwear. When I say not a fan, I'm not a fan of making streetwear. And I think my friends and my family and people that know me, I am a streetwear lover. When it comes to sneakers, when it comes to leather shirts and
Hmm.
high-end streetwear, I love, 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 love it. But it's also a market that I have been afraid to tap into. I think more so because I love it so much and I looked up to like my streetwear designers like Alexander Wang and Jeremy Scott, who is my all-time absolute favorite designer when it comes to any of that. And I know how much money and stuff that they put into their stuff. So I assume
Hmm.
that when I do something like that, I gotta at least match. Even though, of course, our budgets, our qualifications, and all of that stuff is not the same. But so
I hear you.
and gowns and luxury evening wear has always been my thing. But I knew that I wanted to do something that was more ready to wear this time around.
Hmm.
And it just took me a moment, I think, through quarantine to just sit and just say, how do I do this and what do I do and what do I do? And I knew I wanted it to be very simple but very sleek. And then we started
Hmm.
playing with. I remember talking to people like, what could I do? How could I do it with my team? And I knew that I wanted to do something with the logo, but I was like, it's gonna get too corny. Just do the and it is just for some reason somehow like really fast came together.
Oh, I love it. I just love
It
it.
came together. Yes.
I when I was watching the show, I really enjoyed, like, you've got the different angles, and then the models got to just kind of express themselves in your, so you could see how you could move in the clothing. I loved it. And I mean, I really, really enjoy runway shows and traditional runway shows and all of that. But also I'm really enjoying just just seeing your vision and putting it all together from a designer's perspective. And then the models just, oh, I mean, people, this
You know,
show is great. And then I just love this. So how did all of that come together? Because it was so
honestly
much
loved
fun.
it too. Not to like try to, praise myself, but I really loved it. And I loved it for a couple reasons. It was something that didn't really just come to my mind just like that. I kind of thought about that before. And I
Hmm.
always wondered, how could I do something with the cars and with the movement
Hmm.
and with the people? And like all this kind of crap. I always wanted to try and piece that together myself. So when we got into well, it was more in the quarantine kind of mode, I was like,
Hmm.
I have to do a virtual show. And people have been requesting, like, what's going on? You're going to do your virtual show? And I'm like, I just don't know how I'm going to do this because I don't want it to be. I saw so many virtual shows, even like
Hmm.
from the high end shows, the New York Fashion Week shows and stuff like that to the low ends.
Hmm.
And I was like, some things were just missing that I knew I would not do. I just did not want to do what some of the designers did. They was just models on the backdrop or models walking. And I said, it has to be creative. It has to be interactive. It has to have something. And I said, if I'm going to do it, I have to do it live. My staff hated me for suggesting live. And I said, listen, we knew that it was going to be a risk. We knew that. If we do that, we're either going to do amazing or we're going to fail. And they were like, that is too much to risk if we fail. And I'm like, I got to do it. I don't care. We have to do it. If we fail, we fail. We'll just come back with another show and say something happened. We'll make an excuse on the internet, pull the plug, something will happen. But I knew I wanted to do it. When we walked through it all and I talked through my visions with my with a few of my directors. Shout out to Isaac, who was in charge of camera and logistics and production. And shout out to the warehouse, their staff over there, Mr. Bussy and all of them. And then my models. I said, I got to make sure I get my models that I like to work with. I want to use some new girls and some old girls.
Hmm.
I want some girls that really know how to walk. I want them to be able to
Yes,
push through the camera. That was like my biggest,
they
I wanted the models to push
loved
through that camera.
it.
I know these
Yes.
supermodels, you know how you get a different vibe when it's in person. You can feel the energy when they're in person, but coming through a camera or through somebody visually, like you got to be able to hold that attention. And the model casting, shout out to Romula, who's my model casting director. She did such an amazing job with helping me, you know, boom, 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 and line up all the models. It was I loved it. I loved
Mm.
it.
Well, as everyone knows, I absolutely loved it too. I really enjoyed it. Just felt like you were at the show. And the best thing is that you really did it on Instagram Live. It was like, here it is, boom, and then
It
it
was
just
crazy.
flowed. It was amazing. And so you can actually go onto Instagram to check it out. But while we're kind of segued into that, please give everyone your social media so that they can check it out.
I'm Ethnicity Brand every single place. If you're looking for me on Facebook, it's ETHNICITYBRAND. If you're looking for me on Instagram, it's ETHNICITYBRAND. If you're looking for me on the internet, it's www.ETHNICITYBRAND. Ethnicity Brand every single way. Twitter, wherever you want it.
But do you want your future buyers to know about your designs? Because I mean, as everyone knows, for me, I am all about the evening wear and the evening gowns and the glitz and the glam, and that's
I love it.
kind of how we met. It was just kind
Uh-huh,
of like
uh-huh.
gowns, gowns, gowns. Yes, but of course, of course, that's not what you just focus on. So please let everybody know, because for me, it's all about the gowns, darling.
I
But
love
what else do you do?
I love the gowns. That's something I can't get rid of. I had 7 clients this morning since 8 a.m.
Hmm.
So that's something I love to do. My inspirations really just come from, I think, the times or how I'm feeling or what the vibe is today or what it's going to be in the next months. I'm not one of those, oh, I went on a trip and I saw a mountain and now I want to do mountain clothes. No, and I do travel a lot, but so that also brings a different sense of open-mindedness, if
Hmm.
that's a phrase
No,
that will help,
it's a phrase because it
you know.
describes what you're doing. So I
You
love
know,
it.
it doesn't fully inspire me, but it gives me an opportunity to see different looks or different
Hmm.
clothes and different shades and how this culture moves and how this lifestyle is and what this city does. And, you know, and it makes me say, well, maybe I can try something like that. Or, oh, I like how the crop top cuts that way. Or I like how the this cuts that way. And maybe I could, you know, maybe not an
Hmm.
inspiration, but when I see it, it makes my mind move.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now
Not
you
quite
talked
even,
about your clients and everything. So do you do custom wear, or is it like, hey, I this is what my collection is, buy this, or do you do both?
it's
Or is
actually
it,
I do both, but majority of the work that I do is cut and sew. So it's
hmm,
normally clients only or custom wear only. I don't ever
hmm,
really have quantities of things.
hmm.
That's for the big dogs. I ain't my buddy. I ain't got 12 of the same gown though. I got one of that gown, and if you need one, I'll go get your fabric for it. But that's normally how it works. My runway collections I piece together because that helps me. That's more so like the promotion for what I
Hmm,
do. So when I go
hmm,
to the shows, I style, and it's normally just my interpretation of what I enjoy seeing for this week or what's going to be the best marketing tool as I showcase around the country to hopefully get clients to say, I like that dress. And I say, well, if you
hmm.
like that dress, you could do this dress and we could design your dress this way.
Yep. That's how he got me. Okay, that's how he got me. Okay. But I'm very grateful because we're here, but
Yes.
and one thing that I love is that, you have difference in clients. Like for me, as you know, I am just try anything, put a lot of colors in it. I don't want to a dress that looks like anything else or anything
I
like
can.
that. But some people they want the traditional. Like let's say, I'm covering a show or I'm covering a gala
Yeah.
or it's a business meeting or, we're in DC. So, it's either politics or anything like that. So, your designs are, you can custom tailor it to what your client wants. So
Oh, yeah.
it's either wild and colorful and unique like mine, or you know what, I really have to go to an embassy or a gala or a
Oh, yeah.
business meeting or whatever. And so I love that your designs are so versatile, and I just
And I have
love
a lot of clients like that. They're all different ages, different heights and sizes, and different lifestyles. So I completely understand.
Indeed, indeed. So, I am all about shouting out the vibrant, fun fashion scene here in DC, because when people hear DC, they're thinking of, okay, Congress. And I mean, yes, we have politicians that know how to work it, they know how to dress, and it's great. But
Oh
this
yeah.
the scene is more than that. So tell us about your experience as a designer, not just a DC design, but just like, what's the fashion scene? Because from my perspective, it's what's the behind the scenes, but let us know what it is from your perspective.
You know, I enjoy the DC fashion scene and fashion life, honestly, a lot. I have so many friends, and especially designer friends, who move from DC. Oh, I'm going to New York, or oh, I'm going to LA, and oh, I'm going to Atlanta. And I guess whatever floats your boat, and if it works for you, it works for you. But for me, I have been pretty successful in DC for the last consistently. It's been 10 years since I left my job, and I love it. I mean, I think you have to be one of those people that are able to adjust to people. You have to be available to change your mind and change whatever it is that you do for the client and look, and just kind of feel flexible to stretching yourself. I'm not afraid of a challenge. I'm not afraid of, being dared to try the new, as long as someone is willing to know that I'm also trying. So if it works, it works. And if not, we'll make it work. And you gotta sometimes be patient with that kind of stuff. And
Hmm.
I get both kind of clients. Sometimes I get the clients that's like, I don't want to try. And I'll say, okay, well, that might not be for us. But majority of the times I do get a lot of clients that say, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And if it don't work, we'll figure it out. And I think that that sometimes comes with the success of the DC fashion market and for designers from a designer perspective. And that's me. That's just what
Yeah.
I think. I do think that the DC fashion industry itself is an industry in DC that is hard to find. I think because I'm from DC,
Mhm.
I'm in it, so I'm here.
Think that's I guess that's one of the things. It's like the hidden industry, and it's just like, no, it's not. There are plenty of different fantastic designers just like yourself, and then you're also out there. You're showing in New York, during New York Fashion Week. Okay, you're going and you're showing in Atlanta or anyway. It's
Mhm,
just like,
mhm.
it's not that we're just static and it's like, there's nothing going on.
Oh yeah.
You're designing streetwear, and then you're designing glamorous gowns for yours truly. I just it's just, I'm so glad that people are going to have the chance to kind of see the perspective from a
Uh-huh.
DC based designer. It's just great.
Oh yeah.
I love it. I love it. And now you have kind of said, but what do you love about, this is one of the questions that they had, they're just like, what do you love about being a fashion designer?
Love is I love the ending of whatever I'm working on. I love when I have created and I see the client say, you know what, I like this. Even if they aren't sure if they like it, I like that they say, you know what, I'm gonna try this. And that I get to see them say, you're gonna try it, or you're gonna like it, or I like that. I love when they love it. I love when they love it. But what I love the most is when they say, you know what, I'm not sure about this, but I want to try it. And I
Hmm.
like what you did, and it's not my thing, but you stepping me out the box, and I want to do it. And then they go and do it, and and even love it even more. I love that is my favorite thing. It's like them coming and they're like, I don't know what I'm gonna get, and then they try it on and they're like, I love it, but I'm still scared to wear it. And then they wear it, and it's like, no questions asked. This is what I should have done. I'm glad that you did this. That's my favorite thing about being a designer.
That's good. And then, all right, so now we're gonna flip it a little bit. What is your personal style? How do you define your personal style for
Oh my
yourself?
God.
Desi style.
This, and let me tell you what's so crazy. Also, even saying that because I don't really wear my own stuff that often. At first, when I first started, oh, everything was ethnicity shirts, ethnicity pants, ethnicity this,
Hmm.
ethnicity that. But now I got to a point, I'm just like, I don't even want to make nothing for me. But and I think I see it all day long. I'm making it. I'm making it. I'm selling it. I'm retailing it. I'm wearing it to work. I'm wearing it to the. I wear that. I want something else. But my personal style is streetwear, especially high-end streetwear. I love, 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 love streetwear. I love
Hmm.
jewelry and like
Yes, show us, show
like
us, show
like
us.
Machino is my all-time favorite designer. Like leather eye patches, like stuff that don't like. Why would you buy this? Like I ask myself all the time, why? Why would I buy that? And like rhinestone. I'm crazy, right?
Listen,
Like
that's what I love,
rhinestone
because it's like,
sneakers and stuff.
why not? Why not? It's not why, it's why not.
I
Okay.
love that kind of stuff. Leather, I don't know what my weird fetish is or craving or something for leather stuff. I don't even have a fetish to leather. But when I look in my closet, I'm like, why do I have 5 of these similar shirts and like 4 different leather pants and something about leather jackets and if people saw me, they probably think I'm wearing the same thing all the time. And it's creepy.
It's
I
all
love
about it. I
leathers.
love it.
I love leathers. I love comfort. I love sneakers. I love if any designer is the epitome of what I wear, it's Jeremy Scott. Machino
Hmm.
is the epitome of my life. It's weird, it's crazy, it's funky, and I love it.
So that's
Um, Scott is definitely my fashion inspiration. He does it for me all the time. He's my mentor from afar for the last 10. He doesn't even I've met him quite a few times, but
that's awesome.
but he's he lives closer to me than he knows. Yes.
I hear you. I hear you. Oh man. Well, you know what? Before we move on, I want you once again to go ahead and just give us your social media, because people, they'll go, but hearing it also helps.
Well, I'm Desmond Handon, and you can follow me everywhere at Ethnicity Brand. That's ETHNICITYBRAND. That's Ethnicity Brand on Instagram, Ethnicity Brand on Facebook, Ethnicity Brand on Twitter, and www.ethnicitybrand online.
And then if someone like, because I mean, things are slowly opening up, and more
Yeah,
events are happening, and we're slowly
yeah,
easing back into it safely. But when things open up and I start hitting you up for stuff to wear again, um,
perfect.
if um if somebody wants to go in ahead and say, listen, I want a glamorous gown, or you know what, I feel like some streetwear, there's a fashion week coming up, and I want to be
Mhm.
on those Instagram pages where it's just like, oh no, I just threw this on, but you didn't.
Oh yeah,
So how
oh yeah,
how
my
do
favorite thing.
they get in contact with you so that they can place their order or get their custom wear?
Believe it or not, one of the easiest ways to get in touch with me is actually through Instagram.
Hmm.
I am not one of those designers that think you're too great or too grand to contact me however you want. If you want to throw a rock through my window with a note attached that says, "Hey, call me," I'm going to pick up that rock and read it, and call you, and send you the bill for the window. But Instagram is a great way. Email is a great way. Literally any way that you think you can contact me, I probably will. It's just that easy for me.
Great, great. And you said that you do men's wear and women's wear as well.
I do. I do. I do.
Great,
I do.
great, great, great. And then of course, you do custom design. So whether it's going to a business meeting, it's going to a cookout, or you're going to
I'm about to say from the park to the church, from the
hey
church to
now.
the gala. I got you.
I
Okay?
love it. I love it.
Even if it's
Uh,
all in the same day.
Indeed, indeed, that's one of the things that I love. We could get, your chill outfit, and then get your glamorous gown for later on, and then
There
be
you
like, oh
go.
snap, I forgot this business meeting. So
There you go.
I just love how versatile you are and your collections are. And you know what? Thank you so much. This was just so spectacular. I like I've said, I've been wanting to get you on my channel for the longest. And so I'm
Perfect.
so happy that you took the time to chat with us. And you know what, Hamalam TV, go ahead and do your thing, people, and support Des and Ethnicity Brand, and check out, oh my gosh, the fashion show was so energetic and so much fun. And before you go, so do you think that when things open up, are you still gonna do like virtual
It's so
stuff,
crazy. Do
or
you know? Let me tell you what's so crazy. We've been talking about this over the past like 3 or 4 days, and I'm like, okay, the world is opening, and my staff is like, okay, it's time to have another show, and I'm like, is it? Why? I thought the virtual show for me it was amazing. I felt like I was able to save a little
mm-hmm,
money on things. Like the budget was definitely totally different.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
shows in person,
Uh-huh.
we may sell tickets sometimes, but we may not. I enjoy when I do my collection release to have free shows because it
Mm-hmm.
just helps with the publicity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I get from going to New York Fashion Week. But the budget, of course, is we swiped the card a lot.
You
And I just
know,
felt like,
New
listen,
York ain't cheap.
okay. And it was just I felt like I had such great vibes, a great response, the same response, if not better, and a great crowd viewing from the virtual show. And I just
Mm-hmm.
wonder how that's going to work in the future. And I think that because so many people were at home and quarantine, it may have worked well. And I'm not sure how it's going to work in the summer with everybody being out in the streets.
Yeah, I hear
But
you.
once again, I'm willing to take the chance. And they're like, no, everybody wants to be in the streets. Everybody wants to be out. We need to have it in person. So that's our argument right now. We are working on 2 events.
Mm-hmm.
I normally do a kids fashion show twice a year. Um,
Okay.
and that's with my sponsors. And I got a lot of sponsors for that, like 4-7 reps and just a lot of people from the DC area who really come and support that. and I
Nice.
didn't do it over COVID. But now it's like we have to do the
Mhm.
show. So I'm thinking right now we're confused if we're going to do virtual, which is going to be a lot more tough than my show. We had 13 adults, but in the
Mhm.
kids show we have 30 kids.
Oh gosh.
Virtual, and are we going to do it live? You know me, I'm daring. I'm like, let's do it.
That's why I love it. That's why I love it. That's why our personality is just it's just like why not? Just let's just go and see what happens.
My team know it's going to be crazy. They already know. I'm like, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. So now it's probably going to end up being live, and it's probably going to be with the 30 kids, which is going to be crazy. But they really want to do in person. But I'm weighing the options. And then we have
Okay.
Ethnicity Summer Show coming up. So that's
All
the same things are both in limbo.
All right. Well, so that's the future of ethnicity brand. It's still
That
chugging along, and virtually, I enjoy virtual because it feels like you're bringing people in, you're bringing people closer together. But also, I kind of miss, getting together, bothering you in person, and all of
I
that. So,
agree.
we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But shout out to Romula. She is just spectacular, and she did a
Such
fantastic
a joy.
job. You
Such a
did a
joy.
fantastic job.
Thank
And
you.
stay tuned after this interview. I'm going to show clips of the show. And then, of course, just going ahead and go to his Instagram so that you can check out. Oh, and of course, the website. It is all social media. The show is on there. It's energetic. It's fun. It was just great. So, Des, thank you so much. I
Thank
truly
you so much.
appreciate it. And
And not
you,
only me, I want to shout out to my team. My staff is so amazing. Shout out to Kenny, who's in charge of marketing and directing, and Tiffany and Monica, who did all the styling and wardrobe, and Alicia, who also takes care of so much of the client relations, and Nico and Carlos and Isaac, who did the production and the video camera. He was the man of the hour with the camera. You should have. If y'all could have saw Isaac back there sweating with that camera running up and down that runway, it was a scary.
yes.
I said, "Oh Lord, he's gonna fall." But shout out to all of them. I hope I'm not forgetting nobody. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
shout out to the people that, because I mean, you know that you are loved. And that's one thing I love about interviewing, because then you also get to see the other and thank the other people that you might not see, you get to thank
And
them.
no, it's so
So,
important. Like my girl Kiana, one of the girls on my staff, she's a workhorse, and I love giving praises to my team because I know a lot of people think that ethnicity is just me, just because I'm the face and the CEO and the creative director. But without my staff, and I've been running with these guys. This has been the longest staff I've ever had. And they've been here with me for all of them have been here for about 3 or 4 years now. And they give their time to me
wonderful.
and I give my time to them. And I absolutely love the staff. Even my sons, my real sons and my fake sons, like they help them pitch in and make it happen. My son Brandon, thank you so much. And I needed it all. I needed it
All
all.
right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone from Ethnicity Brand. But Des, thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
And
much.